Right, this week is the S1000D user forum in Amsterdam. We have arrived at Harwich and we're going to take you guys along with us. We're now going to get on the boat and then we're going to go and have a beer and something to eat. Day one of the ATA eBiz and S1000D user forum here in Amsterdam, and we went to the reception evening last night, which was good fun. Met up with a load of old friends, etc. Give you an update on that soon, but we're now walking down the high street towards the hotel. So we're back on the boat on our way back to the UK after the S1000D ATA e-business forum in Amsterdam. We've had a really good week, but after Amsterdam we actually went on to Germany to go and see some customers, do a couple of tutorials, a little bit of sightseeing, but the purpose now is that I'm going to give you my thoughts and feedback on the S1000D and ATA e-business forum that was held in Amsterdam. So excuse the noise, we're on the boat, we've only just boarded and we're waiting for the restaurant to open. So what I'll do is I'll give you my feedback. I've got all the notes in front of me here, and you know, we arrived on Monday morning, and after getting lost, which was quite amusing, got quite a nice car, which got probably the worst sat-nav system in it in the age of sat-nav. So we did get lost. By the time we finally got to our hotel in Amsterdam, we didn't actually stay at the venue because it was just ridiculously expensive. So we stayed slightly out of town, and on the first day we popped out, we did a little bit of sightseeing. One of my bucket list items was I wanted to see Anne Frank's house, which is I didn't queue to go in, but I did see it, and we went and had a little bit of a canal tour, had a look around, and we had lunch at the Hard Rock Cafe. And we then popped past the venue to go and check in, and what we did is we got our badges, we went and said hi to Brad and, you know, the conference organisers, bumped into a few people, and it was really good fun to catch up with some people. Then we went to the evening reception on day one, which was actually one of the best receptions that I've been to at one of these events, because it was held where the vendors were set up. So there was a few drinks, something to eat, lots of meeting of old friends, but there was lots of technology on show straight away, so the vendors were able to start networking straight away. It was really good fun, and I'll talk a little bit about some of the stuff that I saw, because it was really good fun. Day one, we turned up for the early breakfast, and there was quite a few people there for the early breakfast, which was good fun. But we did turn up, and then the early morning presentations were kind of normal. This is who AIA are, this is the S1000D groups, these are specifications that we manage, all that kind of stuff. And you know, it became a real kind of samey kind of morning for us, because this is kind of the thing that's presented at almost all of these shows. There was a good interesting keynote presentation, which I'll talk about in another tutorial, because I had some thoughts on that. We then went to the evening reception on day one, and that was held down in a old church area, hosted by Flatirons, and some local food put on, local beers. But actually that was a really good networking evening, because a number of people came up to me, started saying they heard what TDW was about, really like what we're doing, liking the videos. A couple of magazine subscribers came up to me, and a number of vendors who now want to join us now they know exactly what we do. Of course, my aim was to go there and speak to some of the vendors about the opportunity that I'm supporting for a client right now, and get to learn some of their technology and changes in technology and what they're doing. So the reception evening was good fun. We didn't stay all night because the room that it was held in got really hot and really stuffy. Day two, again, we got there, we went to a number of presentations. Again, for me, it was about what the vendors were showing, not necessarily what the specifications were doing. And you know, we went along, and there was a couple I wanted to watch on portal capability. Some are absolutely missing the point, so what I will do is do a separate video on that. And you know, it was kind of the same presentations. Most of the afternoon was legacy data conversion or upgrading data, those kind of things, which is kind of what we talk about pretty much as a tradition at these kind of events. But there were some really interesting presentations, and there were some interesting vendor presentations. But what did I personally learn from this event? And if you've watched my other tutorial, I talked about what it was I was actually looking for from this event. Well, my main aim was obviously to discuss and have chats with vendors about the opportunity that I'm supporting right now, or the client that I'm supporting right now, which we managed to do. What I did notice is that augmented reality and virtual reality was kind of the hot topic. What was really interesting is that a lot of the vendors that a couple of years ago were showing iPads and tablets and that kind of stuff, that's kind of vanished. There wasn't much of it there. What was there was a few vendors, Flatirons, Lionbridge and PTC, were showing augmented and virtual reality, which really generated a lot of discussion and There's some video of me playing with the Lionbridge technology, and it was absolutely brilliant, and some more tutorials coming on that, because I think there's some interesting stuff that Lionbridge is actually doing. So yeah, I did notice that that the iPad and the tablet technology has kind of vanished. It's still there, obviously, but people are showing their viewers, etc., on PCs or main monitors, as opposed to having them on tablets. So, but augmented virtual reality, all the Google stuff was there. It was absolutely brilliant, and the Microsoft lenses were also there. There were a couple of new vendors that I noticed as well, which was really interesting. And again, we will do some more on what they offer, and maybe how it could be interesting to you, our viewers. So we'll look at that over the next few weeks when we're doing that. What I did notice as well is that, again, the biggest criticism that comes of all of these events is that the lack of actual people doing this stuff, who's actually implementing things like S1000D. It was all those kind of blue sky thinkers. There was a real lack of those that are really I'm not saying there was none, because there were some, but overwhelmingly it was kind of vendor, project manager, specification management kind of people. We really need to get the people at the cutting edge using these standards and specifications there, so they can feed back the problems they're having. And technology is only one problem that we have. So that was still a big issue from there. Now, there's still a huge gap in the market. I noticed that, and I've identified this a few times now. I'm going to host a members only brief that's going to talk about some of the things that I'm seeing that the vendors are just not doing that they should be doing, and that'll come our way. Biggest thing I learnt this week at the S1000D show: Barry Braster brews his own beer. So Barry at Etaplan, we had a great discussion, and I'll put a link to his Facebook page underneath here. He actually is, as a hobby, brewing his own beer and is successfully selling it in the Utrecht bars, I think he was saying, and he's actually getting more orders than what he can keep up with, which is great. So Barry, you promised me that you'll bring a couple of bottles to TDW Live, so please do that. What I did notice is that, again, TDW, we are becoming more and more popular. People are starting to understand who we are. Again, people are coming up to me and saying, great videos, love the tutorials, love YouTube, love the magazine. This is only the start, guys. We've got loads coming your way, so please do keep an eye on that. So we did have some stats for you, because Brad did give some stats out, and I'm just going to roll on up. So there was 340 delegates from 28 countries, 57 presentations over 3 tracks, and 21 exhibitors, which I thought was absolutely well done to the guys to organise something in Amsterdam and attract that kind of level of attendance. Was exceptional. I understand from Brad's presentation, I didn't write it down, that's my failure, is that the next show is going to be in the United States. So 2018 is going to be in the United States. I don't know where, because I didn't write it down. So normally I do a best giveaways kind of tutorial, and I know the girls at One Strand were hoping that I would certainly mention their rockets, which I'll put a picture up above me. So what did I see? Everyone had the pens and the giveaways on the pads and that kind of stuff, but the best was clearly Flatirons had some man bags, which are going to be coming really handy for my hobbies. Not necessarily what Flatirons want to hear, but my cycling and putting stuff in my pannier bags, they will come in really handy. Simply 365, they were giving away some interesting stuff, and they gave away some fidget spinners, which seems to be all the rage amongst all the young hipsters. But anyway, we picked one of those up for my daughter. And One Strand, as I mentioned, they had probably the best, which I've put the picture up, is a rocket that you could fire across the room and wipe out your competitors, which was really interesting. So was it worthwhile? the S1000D show in Amsterdam while someone drops their food behind me. Absolutely, it was great to catch up with some old friends. It was great to catch up with some vendors and what they're doing, and helping them understand what I'm seeing in the market in terms of activity, terms of gaps, terms of what's needed. Will I go to the next one in the USA? Already been asked. Yes, providing nothing catastrophic happens. Of course, we would like to be there, because I thought that this was certainly, from my perspective, from an educational perspective, was better than Seville. But Seville was very well organised. Don't let me take that away. So the next event, 2018, I'll be there. After the event, we then moved on into Germany, which was probably last week's YouTube video. So if you've not watched that, we went on and we answered, I think it's 5 or 6 questions that came into us just before we went to the S1000D ATA e-business show. Will I go to the next one? I've already answered, yes, I will. So it was very worthwhile. If you can get along to these events, it really makes a lot of sense, because you get to speak to people that are having the same or similar kind of problems to what you're having. You can also see where the thought processes of all of the vendors are going in terms of technology and innovation, and it's going to affect us. It's going to affect the way that we deploy and implement a TD strategy within our organizations. Might not be today, might not be tomorrow, but it's going to come. It will happen. As I said, the big buzz around this show was augmented reality, virtual reality, and Lionbridge have already said that what they showed at this show, they're going to show at our show in November in the UK. So lots of really great interactive ways of being able to perform maintenance tasks and accessing information. Anyway, I hope you found that useful. Just a massive congratulations to the guys who organised the event. It must have been tough getting that level of people to go to Amsterdam. You did exceptionally well. What did I say, 300 and something delegates, 340 registered. I think that's exceptional, so well done. Will I be at the next one? Yes. I hope you found that useful. Until the next video, I'm now going to go and get myself some dinner here on the boat, and Jamie and I will probably enjoy a couple of drinks before we hit the sack for the overnight boat back to Blighty.